If I see stress, I run the other way. Stress and I are not friends. I try to avoid it at all cost. Now, there's a lot of things in the world that cause us stress that we can't control. One of the ways to get around feeling the stress of it is realizing that you can't control it. But there's also the flip side of a lot of things in our life that cause us stress are actually in our control. And we could reduce stress if we took control of those. What a wild idea. I want to show you an article that I found on CNBC.com that states this exact point. And this was written on December 29, 2022 by Alexandria White. And just the title, 73% of Americans rank their finances as the number one stress in life. According to a new Capital One CreditWise survey, if you read a little bit further down, it then goes into stating younger generations are even more stressed out about finances than older generations, the majority being Gen Zers, 82%, and millennials, 81%, saying finances are at least somewhat stressful. There's a quote by James Clear that says, "Habits are not a finish line to be crossed. They are a lifestyle to be lived." So you can't just do the habit and then ignore it, cross the finish line. You have to actually live it in order for it to compound. It is a slow, steady race to financial wealth and financial freedom. It is not get rich quick. So I want to talk about in this video 5 habits that I think are key to helping move away from that stress and towards that financial stability. That financial stability that during hard times, you know, it's okay. I've got a plan. I've already got these things in place. So let's talk about that in this video. Wait, before we get started, I have to know, are there any bad money habits that you have, that you're aware of, you've recognized, that you want to work towards changing? I would love to hear them if you could put them down in the comments below. Number 1 is to be your money's CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Think about this question. Would you hire you to manage your money? No? No, maybe not. Then what would you look for in a money manager? What would a good money manager do? Would they review spending trends? Would they always be trying to find ways to reduce waste? Would they account for every penny? Would they look for ways to increase profits? Those are generally 4 of the characteristics of people who manage money for people, financial money managers, or within a company that they do. They're always looking at what spending trends are happening. Where can we take back some of our expense here, reduce waste, so we can increase profit? And they're watching every single penny that comes in and out. Try to embody those traits. Try to think about, would you be a good steward of your money? Number 2 is to develop and maintain a financial roadmap. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? You're left flailing about. I want to tell a quick story where I had took my mom to my chiropractor, which is about 40 minutes away from her house. And the highway and the way to get there, it's not somewhere she'd been before. So I took her, so I expected that she could make it back the next time she went. And she got lost. She spent about an hour trying to find her way back before she ended up calling me. So with her directions, I got even more specific. I went onto Google Maps and I took pictures of exactly which road she needs to take. And before you ask, no, she does not use the GPS on her phone. She's not there yet. Not a problem. We figured it out the old school way. What did we do before we had our phones to get us places? We had that GPS thing, right? But that was also, oh my gosh, so new. Well, before that, you had to actually use a map. And then people would tell you landmarks. This is something that's very important so that you know where you're going to go, how you need to get there, and what points are destinations where, oh, that's leading me in the right direction. This is where I'm supposed to turn. So I want to say, if you're trying to pay off debt, if you're trying to buy a house, if you're retiring early, take that map out and create that plan and maintain it. You've got to look at it often and see, because if you don't look at those directions and you miss a turn, it's going to be a while before you have to get back around, right? If you miss a part in the plan, then it could put you off or delay you in that goal that you had. One of our plans is to pay our home off in less than 2 years. We've been in this house for 5 years, so it will be paid off hopefully at the 7-year mark. And we've been working extra hard to do that. So one way that we keep this at the top of our mind, we know if we're on track or not, is by using an actual tracker. This is a tracker that we have on our refrigerator, and it is in $10,000 increments. Every time we pay off more, we have our daughter now color it in so we know where we've been. We can also look back and say, oh, this is how much we paid during 2021. This is how much we paid off during 2020. So we can see if we're on that steady path. The third habit that I want to talk about is putting your expenses on a schedule, knowing what is coming up. Now, yes, there are absolutely unexpected expenses that happen, but it's oftentimes the expenses that we just put off. We think, I'll wait and save until it gets closer, or, oh, look, December rolled around again. Where we're left scrambling, we end up putting things on credit cards, paying for things months after they've occurred, and paying way more because we're paying interest, because we did not put our plan on a schedule. This is really easy. You just take a piece of paper, put the months of the year. Ideally, you do this in January, but you can start this at any point in time. And then you would go through the month and you would write down through that year, what are these big expenses, the things beyond normal living expenses that come up. So those might be holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, annual vet visits, school events, prom, graduation, because it may not be the exact same thing every single year. Birthdays roll around, but then maybe your child is a senior in high school, and these are new unexpected expenses. So you really have to think ahead of time here, or it's maybe your annual insurance payment or your quarterly taxes. But what you'll need to do here is, after you've listed them out, determine, are they big items that you need to save for a longer amount of time for? So you're going to determine what those items are. Maybe go ahead and ballpark an amount that you think it might be or that you expect to spend, and see, is that an amount that I can use and take out of my discretionary income that I only need to worry about planning a month ahead? Or is this one that's a bigger expense that it would be more beneficial if I divided the payment between 8, 9, 10, 12 months and put that money away? Number 4, it's a secret, but I'm going to tell you. Are you ready? It's embrace. Shh, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Embrace frugal living. Oh no, the bad word. I would like to think that frugal living is going to become mainstream and trendy. What do you think? Because when the hard financial times roll around, it's those people that are left going, what are y'all stressed out about? It's those people who have been living this way below their means, putting the nuts away in the tree as the squirrel does, waiting and ready for the winter. It's funny because even after you've reached certain financial milestones or goals, most people who live a frugal lifestyle, it ingrains itself into them and they continue that way. You know, you'll hear the story of the guy who goes to the car dealership and he's wearing a pair of overalls, and I love the overall story because that's what my grandfather lived in as a farmer. And they looked at him like, but he had rolls of cash in his pocket. Now, I'm not saying my grandfather, but you're talking about the story of the person who's squirreled away all of his money and still doesn't care to buy more clothes. He lives that lifestyle no matter what financial milestone he reaches. That's because, you know, being frugal doesn't necessarily mean being cheap. It's more about spending in the areas that are valuable to you and realizing you don't want to waste in those areas that are not valuable to you. Number 5 is to rewrite your negative self-talk about money. You know, those people who say, oh my gosh, that must be nice. I can't get ahead. I can't do that. I know, yeah, I definitely need to save money. I don't need to be spending this money. And then they go and do just exactly what they said they didn't need to do. And then they say, never going to get ahead. Well, yes, if you continue to have that thought and that outlook on life, it's probably not going to happen. You know, yes, your situation might be particularly unique, but that doesn't mean you can't get creative. It just might mean taking more ingenuity. I mean, being negative about anything in life really doesn't help anyone, and it especially doesn't help you. I hope this video helped. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, remember, as I asked at the beginning of the video, what are some bad money habits that you have, that you want to change, that you want to rewrite? Put those down in the comments. I would love to hear them. I hope to see you back again here soon.